Good morning, good morning. All right, sun's coming up. It's about 70 degrees right now. I just checked the temperature. It's a little bit before 6 o'clock. Getting started here. Slept really well last night, and I worked till about 10:30. I wanted to thank everybody who watches the videos, supports us on the Subscribestar and Patreon. Those are supporter sites where you can, for as little as $1 a month, you can help support our channel and help keep making trips like this possible. And it really helps a lot. Also, there's a bunch of people who've been buying pay dirts from me and also concentrates from dry washing. Those are two very different things, but I have them both available for sale on my website, GTAO Vlogs.com. You can take a look in the description of the video. There's a lot of links down there. There's also links to our friends' channels and the YFRC Club and a whole bunch of things down in the description of the video. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. That all helps our channel as well. So I'm going to get started going here, and I'll give you guys an update, show you what's going on. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a good one. Good morning. Having some coffee. Sure tastes good. Getting started here. I did a couple runs with the dry washer already. Made some coffee. Taking a little break here in the shade. It's about 70 degrees in the shade. It's beautiful. And I'll be getting back to it and doing some more dry washing and show you how it goes along through the day. So thanks a lot for coming along. Hope you all are having a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. All right, here you can see, here's the gas blower. Got my classifiers and my bucket over here. And tailings so far, right here, these are all the finer tailings. There's the header pile. Some of the header pile's buried over here. But I'm working my way along right in this area here. This was all a patch of trumpet plants. You can see a couple of them are still over here, right in here. So that's what I've been working on so far, just running all this material through right here through the dry washer and collecting the heavies in the riffle tray. 10 in the morning, and it's 95 degrees in the sun and it's 85 in the shade right now. So right now where I am at, it's really great. Out there in the sun, it's a little bit hot, but doing good. I want to give you guys an update. You know, a lot of these places that I mine and I prospect in out in the desert, they seem to be what are known as aeolian deposits, and that's a certain specific term. It's aeolian. I believe it's spelled AEOLIAN. And an aeolian deposit doesn't have to be gold. It could be another commodity. It could be another mineral. But in regards to gold, it's when the wind, primarily the wind, the infrequent or rather constant high winds tends to blow away the lighter elements that are in one region or one locality, and leaves behind the heavier elements. So that's basically what an aeolian deposit is. And a lot of people don't really think about it in terms of geologic time. You know, you have to think like in an area that I'm in right now, there might be 1,000 years where there isn't a really hard windstorm that comes through here. It might be it could be 40,000 years. And then there might be some kind of horrendous wind that comes through, just unprecedented almost, that blows away the lighter elements and leaves the heavier elements behind. That's the type of thing that can happen with in the geological time frame. But in the shorter time frame, this area in particular is known for high winds, 30, 40, 50 mile an hour winds. That's high enough to blow a lot of the lighter stuff away. So the thing that's puzzling to me, and it's like this just about everywhere I go, is that you might think, okay, well, a lot of the gold is in the surface layers. As the mountain is worn down by the wind, the heavier elements tend to accumulate in the upper layers, right? So, okay, a lot of the areas seem like that's the case, but then we'll be walking along and we'll find a shaft, a vertical shaft that goes down into deeper layers, deeper sedimentary layers, where obviously the old timers were either looking for or they were finding something down there. So a lot of these areas aren't just simply one deposit or another. And in some cases they are, they're sort of hit or miss as to where the gold is. So that's why sampling comes in so important. That's why prospecting comes in so important. One of the things I wanted to explain is that with my dry washing concentrates, when I clean out a riffle tray, I bag those up and I sell them on my website. I also sell them, or I trade them to patrons on my Patreon. My Subscribe Star probably soon will have something similar, where a certain level will get a certain amount of concentrates every month. Right now, the way it works is through Patreon. Some of my patrons get dry wash concentrates every month. When I do dry wash cons, I very carefully use codes. I use codes on the bags so that if I have viewers who buy my concentrates who find some really good gold, that they tell me about it, they write me, they send me an email, they send me some photographs of the gold they found, and they want more of that particular location, then I can go back and I know where that was. So, for example, this one right now I've got coded a certain way, and this is about the size of a riffle tray of dry washer concentrates. It's about half of a quart Ziploc. When you take out the let's see here, there you go. See the, yeah, I've got it coded. It's about half of a riffle tray. I'm not half of a riffle tray. It's about half of a quart Ziploc when you take out all the 1/4 inch plus rock, and everything's in here. All the heavies that were caught in the tray at the time when I did the clean out, they're all in here. These are unwashed. These are unsearched. If you buy concentrates or pay dirts from somebody who says they are washed for you, they're not doing you any favors. Believe me, they're not doing you any favors. These are unwashed. These are unsearched. They are going to make your panning water dirty. They are just the real thing out here. So those are the dry washing cons. I have codes on them. So not all the time. Sometimes I'm in an area where it's sort of a general name and I don't have to code them. But a lot of times I'll have a little key word on the bag. In this case, it's the letter and the number 2. So it's D2. D as in dog 2. So those are codes I put on the bags. And the other thing I wanted to mention was the dry washing concentrates are different than my pay dirts. The pay dirts are 1/4 pound bag. Right now, that's the way I've been making them for a while now. They're 1/4 pound bags. They are from good locations. They are from areas where I have sampled and found gold. And then they are screened. They are classified 1/4 inch minus. They are unwashed. They are unsearched. They're from different locations. Right now I have 2 that I've been making 2 most consistently, but I also have 3 other areas. I started out with 4 areas. Then I evolved down to 2 areas. I'm going to be bringing back my other 2 areas pretty soon. So I'll have 4 or 5 areas of pay dirts. Those are different than the dry washing concentrates. So all they are is screened down, classified material. They are not concentrates. This is a concentrate. This is about half of a wheelbarrow concentrated down to half of a quart bag. And the pay dirts are not like that. My pay dirts are just classified 1/4 inch minus, bagged up, and then because they are not concentrates, I do add a little bit of placer gold to each one of those 1/4 pounder bags. I want everybody to be able to find some gold for sure. And the difference is with my concentrates from dry washing, I don't add gold to these. What you find in the bag is what was in that area. And I do that because for obvious reasons, for cost reasons, I don't have a whole lot of gold. So I don't put gold in these because I want these to be the real thing. And also I want my viewers who want to participate to be able to sort of prospect along with me. And that's why I put the codes on these bags, because if I get somebody who's finding really good gold in these bags or in one of these bags, they say, hey, I want some more of that area, then I can go right back to that area and I can really collect a lot more. And I know the layer, or I know the exact location. So that's why there's codes on the bags. On most of my dry washing concentrates bags, that's kind of the difference between the pay dirts. In general, the pay dirts and the concentrates have the same thing in common. They're both classified 1/4 inch minus, and they are all unsearched. They're all unwashed. They have organics. They have everything in them. They've got lead. Some of them have lead. Some of them have other heavies in them. So they're the real deal. There's a friend of mine who's got a channel called his name is Alan, and Alan has a channel called Alan's Gold Mining Channel on YouTube. And I'll put a link down in the description area of the video to Alan's channel. But this guy really knows what he's talking about, and he's done a lot of desert placer gold mining. And I wanted to just mention something because I get some feedback about it from time to time. He's got a really good video, a really great one about maybe I'll put a card or whatever it is up here. I don't know how to do that yet, but anyway, he's got a really great video about maximizing dry wash effectiveness or something like this. And he modifies a modern factory made dry washer. He makes some modifications to that dry washer, which makes it a much better machine for capturing the different sizes of gold. And I'm aware of this. I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew I'm aware of this. I'm aware of that video. I've seen the video. I believe I've commented on that video. It's a great video, and it's very true. Dry washing is not the most efficient method of capturing gold. It's probably the least efficient, and it depends on how you run your machine, and it depends on how fast you run your machine, and it depends on the type of gold in the area, and the moisture level in the ground, and it depends on a lot of different factors. But I'm aware that my machine is not the greatest at capturing all different sizes of gold. I haven't made the changes to my machine. I'm not sure if I will make the changes. Certainly when I make machines in the future, or when I get machines in the future, particularly larger scale dry washers, I will have the capacity to better classify and recover the finer gold, all different sizes of gold. But for right now, it's the machine I have. It's the dry washer that I have. It's the only dry washer that I've ever owned. Lunchtime update for you here. It is high noon in the American desert, and you can see here I've got the dry washer. This is the area I'm calling D2, and I started down here, and you can see here I started and I'm moving in this direction, moving uphill. Really great, because as I work, I fill the hole that I've already created. So see where the dry washer is right now. I just did a clean out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to shovel some of my header pile up where I'm going to move my machine next. So that'll keep the balance, that'll keep the angle of the dry washer right. And then as I run more material, it'll fill in my work. So when I'm done here, I'm going to go up along here and I'm going to work up probably right up to about where that bush is right there. And that's going to be another couple runs. And when I'm done, I'll only have to fill in the last bit there, and my hole will basically be camouflaged. Won't even be able to tell I did any work really in this area. At least in a couple years, you won't be able to tell I was digging here. All right, so that's the update for right now. In the shade, it's 90 degrees, 12 noon. Right now in the sun, it is 99. It's almost 100 degrees right now. We got a little bit of wind. Fortunately, the wind's coming out of the same. It's a pretty consistent, about 1 mile an hour wind coming out of the northwest, and that's great because it's keeping the dust away from my blower, and it's keeping the dust going in the right direction. So I'm staying out of the dust. It's about 2:30. I just had a lunch break, and I'll tell you what, it's pretty darn hot. I think I checked my temperature in the shade, and it was reading 103, a little over 100, and I put it out in the sun for a few minutes, and it was reading about 108. I'm taking it easy. I'm being careful. I had a lunch break. I had a salad, and I set my container down on the ground when I was done, and the earth was melting my plastic container, if you can see that. That's how crazy hot the ground is. That's one of the things that you don't necessarily think about when you see the news and you see, oh, it's 110, oh, it's 100 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona. They're not actually measuring the temperature of the ground. So when you're out, your feet are your direct contact with the earth. And so far today, I'm being rudely awakened about that reality. 4 o'clock update. All right. So I went out and I did a couple more runs with the dry washer, and I came right back in and got my feet in the shade. Had some more lunch. I've been drinking plenty of fluids. I've got a 5-day cooler in the back there, and I've got some big jugs with big piece of ice in them. So I've got plenty of nice cold drinks, and I'm doing well. Just had some more lunch. But I checked the temperature right when I got back. I checked the temperature in the shade. It was about 102, 103 degrees in the shade. I put my thermometer, my digital thermometer, in on my cot on a white towel in the sun. See if I could get a reading about the temperature in the sun. But I didn't want something that was absorbent, so I put a white towel out there. Put the digital thermometer out there. It read 111 in the sun. And then I took the digital thermometer and I put it on the ground right out behind me here. And it got up to 122 degrees. And then the digital thermometer cut out. It went error. So I've got a couple more hours now before it starts to cool down. So I'm doing good. I'm fine. I'm going to go out now. I just had the car running, had all the windows closed up. I had the air conditioner on. This is where we were last night. I started right over here. I worked my way that way. You can see all this material around that clump of bushes there. I worked all that material through, and I'm not quite finished yet, but I've pretty much reclaimed the work that I did. So when I get finished here, this is going to be raked pretty flat and flattened out, and it's gonna look a lot better than it does right now. But you can see this is where we were last night and this morning. And I'll show you over here. This is that second area that I was telling you is called D2. D as in David, 2. I started down here, and I worked the machine right up along this way. And then I did those last 2 runs I was showing you earlier. I finished off up there. So finished off of there. I've already reclaimed a lot of this because it was, as you've already seen, when you fill in your holes as you're going, it's pretty nice. When you're done, you're almost finished up. I wanted to show you this. This is a pile of ironstones. These are ironstones that I uncovered when I was digging. Basically what happened over here is I started to go down. I started to plunge down deeper, and I hit some white sort of ashy layer. And there was no cobble in it. There was no agate. There was no ironstones. So I went up a little bit higher, and I was basically following this layer of agate, coarse angular stone like this here, and just loaded with ironstones. All different sizes. You can see there's some real big ones, down to very small ones, down to black sands. So there's a lot of ironstone that I was following. Before I leave here, I'm going to do a little bit more work with the rake, straighten this area out a little bit, get some organic matter and spread it over the top. I'll show you where we're at right now. In vlog number 24, when I did that prospecting with the dry washer, this is the sample. This was the sample area. Well, I'm back there again. I'm right next door. And what I did is I started over here. I got the blower up here. I started over here, and I'm working this way, and I'm working this way, and I'm working that way. Just finished 2 other runs, and then I'll be headed up into that area there. And this is all header pile stuff. You can see again a lot of the larger stones like we're seeing over here. Probably going to be working. I got 2 more runs to do right over here where all these trumpet plants are. There's a nice bunch of trumpet plants. I think what I'm going to do this evening is I'm going to work this area right along in here, kind of where the blower is. I'm going to move the blower. Okay. All right. 6:30 at night. It's cooling down a little bit. I'll tell you what, if you need to stay out of the sun for whatever reason, you're going fishing, you're metal detecting on the beach, you're metal detecting at the lake, these are great. You can tuck these in your shirt. They cover the whole back of your head. You can pull them up. You can pull them up on top of your head. You put your hat on. Put your sunglasses on. Right now is the time when that sun's going down, when it starts to hit you from the side. You get burnt ears, get burnt cheeks. Tell you what, these are pretty great little deals. It's cooling down. It's about 97 degrees in the shade now. Doing good. I just finished my last 2 runs. Well, I just finished the 2 runs I wanted to get done. Still got some more to do. But yeah, I made it through the hot part of the day. Hey, how's it going? All right, it's Aaron from GTAO Vlogs coming back at you. It's been out here now for a little more than 24 hours, I think about 28 hours. And boy, is it nice again. It is nice. The sun, the flaming hot, beautiful ball of fire and brimstone has gone down for the day. So the sun has gone down. I got a half moon coming up. It's about 84 degrees, about 85 degrees right now. Breezy, beautiful. I just got done doing a few more runs with the dry washer. I'm packing it up for the night. I will be doing some more dry washing tomorrow, and I will be doing some panning. Finally, I'll get to do some panning. I hope I can show you guys some gold, and I'm excited about it. Looking forward to it tomorrow. So, been a kind of an interesting day, waiting out the heat, waiting out the hot part of the day. Got to bring a better pair of shoes next time for myself. But all in all, I'm real happy that I stayed out here. Desert Starbucks. Good morning, good morning. All right, morning of day 3. I'm going to give you guys an update here of getting things ready, getting started. Sun's coming up. It's about 6:30, and I got some coffee brewing. So I'm brewing some coffee and getting the camp sort of organized a little bit. I'll be putting away my sleeping gear while the coffee's brewing and all that, and get the truck sort of set up and things organized a bit better, so that when I'm finished dry washing today, when I'm finished doing a little bit of gold panning, that I can just put a couple items in and head on out of here, you know. So before I leave today, I'll be restoring my work. In land management terms, they call that restoration or renaturing. So I'm going to be making my work look like I almost wasn't there. I'll be covering up the holes and raking things over. I don't use it very often, but I do have a full-size yard rake out here. I bring it along as a classifier to rake out the larger cobbles. I don't actually use it very often, but I do use it sometimes for doing the restoration work. So I'll be restoring my area, making it look like I wasn't there as much as I can, and packing up my camp, getting on out of here. Got my cot and everything to pack up, and the vehicle's pretty organized at the moment right now. I've got a little bit of organizing to do yet here while the coffee's brewing. But you can see I got all just the basic gear in here. I keep the fuels down underneath the truck because that's in the shade during the hot part of the day. I've got my trash bag over here. Got basic, a lot of different basic things in here, and over there I got a bundle of firewood that I haven't had a campfire on this trip, but I'll probably be taking off that plastic label and then stashing the firewood somewhere along the route, so when I come in next time I know I've got some firewood. And then in the front, thankfully with a nice sunscreen here, I pointed my car directly to the east so that I've got shade during the whole day, pretty much. So it makes a nice shady spot so you can sit in the front of the vehicle. So there you go, packing things up. Coffee's almost ready. Talk to you soon. Have a good one. More ironstone. It's a little after 10 o'clock and I've been dry washing. My left shoulder can really feel it, so I'm kind of taking it easy and trying to use other muscle groups, but doing good. I got a little bit of coffee left to finish here. It's a little over 90 degrees in the shade right now already. It's 91 in the shade. Supposed to be getting up hotter than it was yesterday out here. It's definitely going to be around 110 or something like that. So I've got a little bit of dry washing left to do and I'll be done. I'll reach the goal that I wanted to reach with the dry washing. So also have one big run right here I got a big run. I did a big long run. This is a big bag of dry washer concentrates right here. And my intent is to pan that out. As soon as I finish the dry washing, I have the water, I've got the equipment. I don't usually pan this much at one time, but I'm preparing to make some new pay dirt bags, and I'm hoping to get some decent gold out of this, and I'd like to show it on the camera. So even though it's getting piping hot and it's more than I normally pan, I'm going to go ahead and I'll set the camera up and I'll do a panning with this. This is a big bag of concentrates. Normally, you know, my concentrate bags are about half of a quart. This is more than half of a gallon Ziploc. It's heavy. There's a lot of heavies in here. Hopefully there's some decent gold to show you guys. So as soon as I finish with the dry washing and do a little bit of restoration of my holes and my work up there, I'm going to pan this out on camera. We'll see what kind of gold is in it. Have a good one. Thanks again for coming along. Hope you all are doing well. Talk to you soon. Dry washing is done. I'm going to go do a little bit of restoration of the work area, clean things up, make it kind of look like I wasn't even there, and get started panning. So I'm going to pan that big bag of concentrates, and as soon as I'm done panning that big bag, hopefully there's some nice gold in that bag. That would be just great. I'd like to see some small stuff. I'd like to see some pickers, everything in between. You know, I'd like to see some quantity. Time will tell. You know, I'm going to pan that out in just a little bit here and wrap things up, and then I'm going to head on out of here. Let's see here. It's getting hotter and hotter. In the shade, it is 97, 98 degrees in the shade. So it's about 11 o'clock. Not really sure. I got to check the time, but I wrapped up the dry washing. I got that finished, and I'm on to the next thing. I got to do a little bit of cleanup, a little bit of straightening up. Then I'm going to do the panning, and then I'm going to get the heck on out of here. All right, talk to you soon. I got the gear, I got everything down from the dig area. I got the whole area restored, and now I'm going to set up the panning kit and the panning tub and all that. You can see right here I got about a third of a pail of 1/4 inch plus 3/8 inch minus. I'm going to go through that at home with a metal detector. And then, let's see, where's the big bag? I got a big bag. Got a big bag of concentrates. Normally I bring this home and just go through it at home. I'm going to go ahead and pan that out here out in the field. See what the hell is going on with that. It's a nice big, it's about 3/4 of a gallon Ziploc of dry washer concentrates. So fingers crossed we got some good gold. I'm going to set up the kit and get to panning. All right, more later. 100 degrees, and it's a little after 1 o'clock. You can see that or not. We're getting started on the panning. We're going to start out with the plus. I used a classifier screen, and I screened the plus 1/8 of an inch, and then I took the magnetics out of it to simplify things a little bit. So I've got the plus 1/8 of an inch right here. I'm going to pan this first, and then I've got the minus 1/8 of an inch in this bucket, and I'm going to pan that next. See how much this is here. This is all the minus. I haven't taken any magnetics out of the minus out of this right here. I'm going to set this up there, and then like I said, this is all the plus 1/8 inch. I already took the magnetics out. Small ironstones, mostly it's small ironstones. There might be some lead, but probably not a whole lot of lead. Anyway, let's see what this is. We'll pan out the plus 1/8 of an inch first. plus 1/8. Okay, here's the one. Here's the plus 1/8. No gold. You know, again, like I said, this is plus 1/8 of an inch. There was some little dust and whatnot on the stones, but anything that's plus 1/8 of an inch should be pretty easy to see. There might be a piece of gold right there. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, it doesn't look like any gold in the plus 1/8 of an inch size. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and clean this out. And then we're going to do the minus 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to get all this stone out of the bottom here. I've got plenty of water, so I'm going to go ahead and dump this out and get some new water. Even though I use the soap, the surfactant in there, I'm going to go ahead and clean this out and get some fresh water. We'll get started on the minus 1/8 of an inch from the riffle tray, from the concentrates. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to add, I'm not going to pan it all the way down each time. Oh boy, okay. Just going to super concentrate it into one pan, maybe two. I don't know, we'll see. This is a lot of concentrates here. Got to stand up to do this. Sitting down isn't working. All right, guys, we're back. I've got most of the concentrates panned down. Got a little bit left here, and I just changed the water out. I changed the water out a couple times actually because I've got plenty of water, and it was getting pretty nasty. So I've got the last little bit here,
of the minus quarter-inch concentrates. We'll go ahead and get through that. I got to get through it as quick as I can because the phone may shut off because of the temperature. I just had the truck running. Happens. It's been a good trip, successful trip. That last little bit didn't have any gold in it really to speak of. Okay, so when I have all these organics, floating organics, I use the little minnow net here. A lot of you guys aren't used to preserving your water as much as I am, but it takes out the little floaty organic stuff real easy. That makes the finished panning a lot more easy, a lot better. So anyway, got a little minnow net here. Clean the water up. And then I'm going to add what's in the black pan. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put the green pan in the black pan. The gold looks better on the black pan. Okay. Almost here now. So there is some nice gold in there. That is good to see. Woo-hoo-hoo! Holy mackerel. Whoop. I got a roller. Wow, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Let me see if I can show that to you. It's pretty nice. Let me move the camera. I'm not gonna dump out the black sand that's in there. I wanna put it all together and go through it a little more carefully at home. Oh, that's nice. I got an old dime. I'm gonna put in there an old Liberty, a mercury head, old mercury dime. That is pretty nice, pretty nice. Wow, that's some big gold, actually. That's bigger than, certainly a lot bigger than I've had recently. Let me move this. Where is the... There we go. There's some nice pieces in there. We got here. The piece right here is like a piece of wire or a part of the vein right there. Wow, All right, well that is pretty. I'm gonna stop the camera for just a minute and plug my microphone back in. All right, like I said, the camera is going to shut off because of the heat. It's over 100 degrees right now. Put a little bit more water in here. You can see there's a lot of fine gold in there. Not a whole lot, but there is some fine gold, and there's some nice chunky pieces in there, which looks like 3 nice pickers, and some like a wire gold, and then some finer stuff in there. 3 real coarse pieces right there. I'll tell you what, this was about 5 runs of the dry washer. So I don't want anybody to get the misconception that you're going to buy a bag of my concentrates and you're going to see all this kind of gold. They're unsearched. They're unknown. I don't know. You might find some big pieces like that. You might find some small pieces like this. You might only find a half dozen small pieces. It's just the way it goes, you know. They're unsearched, they're unwashed. So I don't want to mislead anybody. This is probably 5 runs with my dry washer bagged up into one big bag. So I'm happy with that. That's more gold than I came out with. Looks to me like this might be, you know, close to a gram with those bigger pieces added in there. So that's pretty good. I'm happy about that. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll talk with you soon. Thanks for coming along. I got the car all packed. I got all my gear in there except for the chair and the camera and the tripod. Last time I checked, it was over 107 degrees out here. I've had the air conditioning on the car. I'm packing up. It's too hot out here to hang out any longer. I don't recommend coming out in this kind of heat for anybody. I've had a lot of years experience out in the desert. Got all kinds of safety equipment and water and other things in here so I can protect myself. But to make a long story short, good trip. Thanks for coming along. I got to get out of the desert. I did what I wanted to do. I got a lot of concentrates. I did I panned a big bag of concentrates out here. You guys saw that on the camera. And hey, I'm going to have on my website, fairly soon, I'm going to have a new stock of pay dirts and concentrates for sale. If you'd like to get some concentrates or some pay dirts, check out the description area of the video. There's some links to my website. Also, there's a link to an Etsy shop that I run, and pretty soon I'll have some supply back on eBay. But anyway, the support really helps a lot. It helps me keep going and doing these trips. And I do have some people on Patreon who get monthly shipments. You can get a monthly shipment of pay dirt. I'm thinking about doing the same thing on Subscribestar. So if you wanted a monthly shipment of pay dirts or concentrates, you can get at different levels. You can arrange that with me, or we might be able to do it right through my website. That would probably be best. But anyway, all that aside, great trip. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad I could get this trip done and taken care of. Like I said, I got all the gear. I got everything ready to go. I'm going to head out with the air conditioner going and just crawl towards the highway. So thanks again for coming along, everybody. Have a good one. Stay safe out there, and happy hunting.